I want to congratulate you. I know I've talked to you a little bit. I don't think you've been here since Shrill came out.
It's true.
It's just a fantastic show.
Oh.
And you have a second season, and you're going to film it out in Portland this summer, right?
Yes, I damn am.
And I know, it was so great because obviously you have a show like that, and it is very much your show. You are driving the show. I know you have a hand in creating the show. And when you do press about it, it must be different than when you get interviewed about SNL because it is a far more personal show.
Totally, yeah. I mean, the show is about like a woman finding her self-confidence and hating her body and deciding to stop hating herself. And so, like SNL, they're like, what's it like in the wacky wigs? Yeah. And then when I do press about Shrill, the questions are like, so you've hated yourself for many years. And I'm like, yeah. And it's there's nothing like back-to-back digging in with people being like, so it must be tough to wear T-shirts. And I'm like, yeah, I guess.
Your husband, Connor, who's a wonderful guy who I've known for a long time, and your family, do they have a different experience watching the show versus watching you on SNL?
Yeah, I think they were weirdly more nervous for it because it is so much more personal, and it is like, a little bit, there's parts of my life are in there. And I think for them, it was a lot to take because there's like some sex scenes,
Yeah.
Yeah, if you want to see my ass, check it out.
Yeah, very much. That's a resounding yes.
Okay, that's a hard, if you want it, you got it. I do what I have to make money.
Yes. This is all about money. This is not titillating for her. It's just about money.
Cash.
The season finale is this week. You've had a great season, and you did some impressions this year, and you did one of Anne McClain, who is a female astronaut.
Yes.
And she tweeted.
From space.
From space.
Yeah, it's...
From space, she tweeted, I'm still laughing about this, and 80, your uniform looks impeccable.
I can't handle it.
Yeah.
Because, it's easily the coolest thing that's ever happened to me. It means that she watched the sketch in space.
Yeah.
My face has been to space. Yes. It was the coolest thing. And she gave in space, she gave an interview about it where they asked, she's floating in the air and they're like, did you like it? And she was like, it was the laugh we needed this week. And I was like, are you telling me I'm helping the astronauts? It touched me so, it was easily the coolest thing that's ever happened to me.
That is fantastic. Yeah. I am a little sad that Twitter made it to space.
Yeah.
Just in general.
And I hear you.
Yeah, I feel like it is a virus that I hoped we could contain on our planet.
I know.
It's spreading. It's spreading to the air.
Yeah.
Meghan McCain was on the show. You did a Meghan McCain impression this year, and she was here, and she was talking about how she enjoyed that. And you guys have a crazy connection.
Yeah, it's really, we're both Arizona women, that is true. And we also went to the same high school.
Yeah.
And so I watched her on your show, and in it, she's like, yeah, 80 and I went to the same high school, and she shouts out our high school and is like, woo, woo, yeah, Xavier, college prep. And I definitely was like, oh man, we had different experiences of high school. I was like, for her, it was a whoop, whoop. And for me, it was the darkest opposite. And I really was like, oh, okay. I'll tell you, I recently found a self-portrait that I drew in class of myself in high school. I think you have it. But just to warn you before you show it, it's incredibly scary, okay? But I think it's fun to know that, Meghan McCain, in her mind, high school is woo, woo! And for me, it's this, which is... Okay? And I think something that I love about it's very subtle.
Yeah.
And my school had a uniform, so I'm wearing the uniform, and I'm behind bars. And then I assume that's sort of blood on the walls or sort of red paint.
They were like, 80, we got your submission for the yearbook cover. And we are going to go another way.
And that is fair. I have to say, it was like 2005. It was kind of cool to be emo, and I was living that very hard. Dipping my toe into goth.
I do think that people that go woo-woo are not the ones who end up in comedy. So I do think that it makes sense that you ended up being the version of Meghan McCain that's on SNL. Yeah,
absolutely begging people in wigs to like me, for sure.
So we mentioned your husband, Connor. You guys went to Italy.
Yes.
This summer?
Well, yeah, this past summer.
This past summer, and you went to a cheese factory, I guess? What do you call it?
Absolutely cheese factory. Yeah. I mean, we went to Italy, which they were like, oh, it's the most romantic place for a honeymoon. Oh, the romance. And right away when we got there, they were like, there's also a cheese factory. And we were like, that's for us. And while we were there, one of the women was like, you need to slow down eating the cheese. There's such a long day. You must not eat all this cheese. But I think this is it. We had to wear full body condoms to go into the cheese factory, but still to this day, it's guiding our marriage.
Yeah. And then how does it work? Is it just like they just are constantly like saying, this is what this cheese tastes like?
Okay, well, it was only one kind of cheese. It was Parmigiano Reggiano. And it's basically you're just watching men who are exhausted and are working so hard, and you're like watching them lift like huge chunks of cheese, and then you kind of walk around and taste it, and we still talk about it probably once a week.
Wow. That is outstanding. Living the dream.
This is love.
It is so exciting that you're going to do season 2 of Shrill, and it is so great that this week is the season finale. Another great year for you. Give it up, everybody. Katie Bryant.